Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So, let's just get ourselves out of the hole we've managed to create for ourselves. Let's light up the area and gather the advanced alloy that we've managed to create. Now what I'm going to do right now is hopefully, yes, I'll be able to change my compressor into a singularity compressor. So, of course, I'm going to want to make an advanced machine block, put some of the carbon plates to make it, and take the obsidian that I've worked to get, and get a nice singularity compressor. So let's place this down, and we'll start getting the pressure to increase. Now, let's just throw our ore into the rotary macerator so that we can quickly get all of the dust from here. I think I might start using the rotary macerator to gather all the copper, all the dust. I'm probably going to combine it with red power machines eventually to make a much better system. Now, as you can see, our UU matter has stopped. It's almost at 4 entire pieces of UU matter. And we'll look at our MFSU, and we have almost 2 million EU stored. That's because I cut a cable. Now the reason we don't have more flowing in is because we have this thing completed, and we've managed to find 3 near depleted uranium cells from the 16 through those 4 quad core, or not quad core, but I wish it was quad core, it'd give more bang for my buck. But anyways, the quad uranium cells. So now I'm just going to need to make a lot of copper and compress everything using the singularity compressors. Now, as per usual, I'm going to need a total of 20 plates. Yes, 20 plates will be required to get more of those quad uranium cells, and then we can finally hook up our wire again. Now, I think I misplaced that one single wire. I think it's over here, and then we'll be able to hook everything up to our system again and get everything rolling and get some more UU matter. This all, of course, to try to create those much better hybrid solar panels so that we can actually have some brevity in this. So let's throw this into the singularity compressor, have it get a total of a lot of plates. Let's see, we're gonna need 2 full stacks, so 2.5 stacks of copper will be required. So just this and that will be enough. So once that gets put in, we'll put this in, then we'll have 1 more stack, we'll throw all the uranium stuff in, hook everything up, and then we'll be good to go. So I'll just do that, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm not sure why the reason is, but once again the crafting seems to have failed. Maybe it's because they're actually in stacks compared to what they're supposed to be. I'm not sure what the reason is. But anyways, I have the quad uranium. We can just throw them into the reactor. We'll turn this off for now, just in case something bad seems to happen. We'll throw those in. And now that we got it running, we'll just hook up our cable once again after checking if everything's running correctly. That's good. Now let's just hook it up. We'll get a bunch of EU to stream into this. We'll get enough UU matter to at least get 1 solar panel after this, and maybe have 1 UU matter to spare. It doesn't seem like anything's going to blow up, so let's get rid of some of our stuff. Let's keep the tin, copper, and etc. for now, though we'll put the excess copper into this chest for some later maceration and etc. And then actually go into what I'm planning to do this episode and go into our newly modified B building. Now, I took some extra liberty to try to actually design a nice little building for our bees. As you see, it actually has a roof, and I tried to put as much architectural thought into it while making sure that there's enough light in it. You can see it has all the glass that's required, and especially there will basically be enough glass for a long strip down this way and down this way. Thus, if we have some sort of divide here, we'll only have grass for here and behind, meaning that we won't have to worry about flowers just springing randomly everywhere, which is not what we want for some reason. Now, the bee breeding. I've managed to do quite a bit of bee breeding, though I did stop for when we actually got a good chunk of the stuff we needed. So let's get 16 extra honey drops, it seems we'll have for our bee analyzer. And this stuff, as you know, it's still purebred, and I think I'm going to keep it that way, though all these commons we might want to delete later. Now let's try to get back into the bee breeding. Now, as you see, we have a Meadows Princess, and it seems like it's on its way for a common streak. I'm not sure what these are at. This seems like it's a Meadows and common, though we have the shortest and fast genes. Seems close enough for this as well. But let's pretty much just, let's see. It doesn't really matter which one of these we breed together. We'll just go those two together and we should be good. Now these are my pride and joy. We managed to get fully cultivated princess. So let's put this in. It's cultivated, shortest, and fast. That's going to be good to at least get the assembly line together for everything else. Now this is also cultivated, shortest, and fast, and we're going to want to give them a dedicated area. Now all the rest of them we're going to want to put in to some sort of dedicated purebred area of our best drones. So we'll put those in since we know they're good, and we're probably going to want a garbage bin for all of the ones that we do not want. So we have that. I think let's take that apiary down and actually fill the stone slot and place the apiary down right here and get it at least dedicatedly working. So we'll have the cultivated and that'll start working, and we know we can add later and get it more automated than it currently is. And now that we have the diamonds for the resources for everything else, I think we'll actually be able to get some stuff going. Now onto this thing is also our purebred common line, which I think we'll keep, not purebred common actually, it's common and diligent, so that means we'll want to get this to go with a diligent one afterwards, so we'll have an extra diligent. So these are a little scrappy right now, but we'll take this down, fill this spot up, and we'll have diligent here. Now it's probably best to have some sort of signage. That'll probably be good in the future. So I'll make a mental note of that, put signs of what we're doing. And it seems like this is also diligent. So let's check the diligent ones that we have here. It seems diligent, shortest, and fast. And these seem to also be the like. There we go. Okay, so that means we can just throw this one in so that we can get it pure diligent, and this one so that it will be pure diligent. So we're probably going to have to make a note of the marked ones, the ones that we don't have fully worked out. So these ones that we're marking with putting some stone on top of them, saying that they're not fully done. Once again, these are not fully done as well. Probably going to want to get this to a cultivated strain, so we have an extra thing. So this is common cultivated, this is common cultivated, which means, and this is purebred cultivated, so we'll throw this in so that we get purebred cultivated, or we might get something else. But let's get rid of all of the junk that we have with us right now, these commons. There's no point having half-breed commons. And okay, so now I was talking when I was doing this a while ago, I think like 5 or 6 episodes back when I was actually doing the bee breeding. I was talking about the cultivated and the common. When you breed a cultivated queen, or drone and a common of the same type. Anyways, when you breed a common and cultivated together, you have two options. I think it's currently two options. You can either get a Diligent or you can get a Noble. Now, as you see, we have a Diligent one over here, purebred. So that's going to be good for future. Now, I actually managed to get a completely Noble line, at least I think it's purebred Noble, which is another thing that we're going to want to start working on. That's going to need to wait until we analyze everything else to make sure that we actually have everything that we need. Now I'm working on another Diligent strain, so I think it's fair to say we should work on another Noble strain. So get another Noble princess so that we get everything else working. Now the Steadfast, I know it's purebred, so I'm not going to even bother looking at it. And all of these meadows, they're meadows and common, which means they're, and they're not even the best. Fast but shorter worker. I'm not sure whether it's good to get a shorter or shortest worker, maybe a longer life or something. I'm not too sure on that front. But anyways, let's get to my most revered one, which is our Noble branch. Looking at the Noble branch, we got a Noble, shorter, and fast. So that's a purebred princess. This is almost purebred. Ooh, that's not good. But this one's good as well. So this one's, as you can see, the flowers that's required, it could be flowers, but it could also be mushrooms, which is not good. So we'll have to breed those two together and have them start to constantly work. So we don't really have another drone for this because having a mushroom as a required plant is not a good thing. Now let's talk about some of the stuff that we're actually going to want to get to as a final product of this bee breeding. We're going to want to get it automated, sure, but what are we really automating? Obviously what we're automating, for one, is trying to get as many of the different types of combs that we have, throwing them into like dedicated centrifuges and whatnot, and making sure that we get all of the byproducts that we can get from it. Yep, lag spike. Now, there are a bunch of different combs that we're going to need to be able to get that. As you can see, there are 8 different types of combs. There's the standard honeycomb, which we have, and there's the simmering comb. The simmering comb we still haven't gotten. Stringy comb, we have that. Frozen comb, no. Dripping comb, yes. Silky comb, no. And parched and mossy, I do not believe we have either. But there's also the cocoa comb, which for some reason isn't even in any eye right now. What the heck? That's odd. That the cocoa comb, even though the crated cocoa comb is there, this cocoa comb itself is not there. Wow, cocoa comb. Cocoa, I'm cuckoo for cocoa combs. Oh my gosh, okay. Propolis, we'll need that. So let's throw the cocoa combs in. Obviously, we have cocoa beans. So we're going to need to store cocoa beans eventually. And we're also going to need to store the beeswax, for one, and also the honey drops. Now, another thing we need to store is from the dripping combs as a byproduct. The dripping combs gives honeydew and honey drops, which is, well, the honeydew we're going to have to find a better use for. We'll figure out the best thing for it. But let's see, the honeydew, if we check what we can get a glistering melon. Sounds fancy. And also ambrosia, which is a very good thing. But we need royal jelly, which we haven't managed to find yet. Now, the royal jelly actually brings us to another thing. Now, as you may know, the apiary, what it was actually a lot better than it currently is. Right now, without any sort of netting or whatever, it's not netting, but anyways, without those things, basket, weaves, I can just look at it. Without the frames, it's running at 10% of its original speed. That's not too good. but there's an upgraded apiary called the alveary, which is a multi-block structure. Now it requires 9 times 2, which is 18, plus another 8. So that's 28 or 26 of these blocks right. Now you may be thinking, oh, only 26 blocks? That's not too bad. Then you look at the recipe. It requires an impregnated casing per block, which is easy enough. You just need wood and some seed oil. Easy enough to cure. We got enough seeds. But it also requires 8 scented panelings each, which require honey, wood, a bunch of beeswax, pollen, and royal jelly. So that's 8 times 26 of each of those ingredients, and some of them are repeated. We got enough beeswax, but that's very bad. Now, thinking ahead a bit, I think what we should do is just get a nice little area for a few of our items. Let's make a few barrels. Let's see, how do we make the barrels again? Barrels. Okay, that's a little easier than I thought. Okay, like so. And let's put this. So let's get 2 barrels and place them down like right here. And what we're going to put in them are some of our beeswax, which is going to be a lot of. We're going to have a lot of beeswax. So let's grab the beeswax, and we're also going to want to put some of our honey in. So let's just put our 3 honey, or however much honey and beeswax that we're going to have in. Get all that in with some quick double clicks, and we're going to want to also put in our nice little bits. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start storing all the items that we're going to require. Obviously, the honey we're going to want to put into a squeezer to get, well, we're going to get propolis anyways. That's just a byproduct, but we're also going to want to put that into some sort of area so that we can easily use a carpenter to make the alveary parts. Alveary, scented panelings. So now the pollen. The pollen is actually a item from one of the bees that we can get. It's from the Diligent line, so once we upgrade the Diligence to their highest point, we can actually work on getting that. So I think it's Industrious, which creates the pollen. So we need to be able to breed the Diligent up to Industrious, which is a bit of a long process. Now, let's take these, and we're going to want to analyze those. And we're also going to want to store some of our junk. So, the pollen we get by eventually breeding the Diligent drones to their highest tier. Kind of similar in how we got all of our other stuff, such as getting our cultivated drones. But it's going to be a bit longer of a process. Now, there's also the Imperial bees, which are required to get the royal jelly. That is, as the name kind of suggests, requires to get the noble queen as high as possible in the line to get to that. That's going to take some time as well, but it's not going to be too bad. So we pretty much have to work on 2 bees. We're going to have to work on our Diligent, and we're going to have to work on our noble. Now, as you see, we have another spare Diligent, just in case things go awry, and it seems like this is purebred. So if we throw this in, this is no longer required to indicate that it's not purebred. And this, we know it's purebred, so we can just keep it. And this is a purebred Diligence, so let's put this in our purebred page, since we know it's purebred and can be used later. We'll start breeding up some of the drones because they're going to be required in the process. Now, after we make sure that we have enough cultivated and etc. to work out on, cultivate common, we'll be able to try to breed up. Now, this seems like it's ready to segue into the Diligent line. So what I think we're going to want to do is take the Diligent bee that we have which is over here. Breed them together. It's still a half-breed, but where can we put this? So we'll breed those together. It'll be half-breed, but we can still work on it at a later time. Let's get rid of that one piece of single compost stone because we don't need it. Now, you may be wondering, how do we get our diligent up to the industrious? Now, there's 2 steps required. The first part is to breed our diligent with a cultivated. That's not too bad since we already have a bunch of cultivated to work on. Now, we then breed that product with another diligent until we can get it to work. Speaking about getting to work, that doesn't seem to have budged at all, but those are kind of trashy. So what I want to know is, how the heck did I get a purebred common out of that? Oh well. Let's just throw this into here. We'll have to work on that again. Anyways, we breed the product from the cultivated and diligent with another diligent, and we get the industrious after a bit of fine-tuning, obviously. So let's check what this bee has given us. Make sure it's good. So shorter fast, and purebred shorter fast. So what I think we're going to do is just put this in and put this as another part. So we got Meadows Common and we got Noble. What I want to do is morph this Meadows Queen into a Noble. Now, what I want to do is to be able to get 1 string of each and every single bee. That includes the intermediate steps, because I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get everything else if I don't have the intermediate steps. So for instance, I want to make sure even if I get the Imperial, I want to have a Noble Queen to work on later, just in case there's something in some sort of like the extra beads mod that will require a Noble Queen. And I'm gonna require the same thing for the Diligent. So I'm going to work to make sure I have a purebred Diligent, like completely purebred, and 2 or 3 purebred Diligents. Keep on those until I get what I need, and then go onwards from there. Now these seem completely purebred, as I can see from here, so we can throw those extra 2 in here. And it seems like we lost one. Let's get that. So I think I'm gonna work a bit only on trying to build up how many queens of each of them we have, and when we actually go into the point where I'm crossbreeding, I'll go to that and, well, see what we can pull off. Okay, here's the fun part. It seems that we have 2 purebred Diligent, and they are pretty much exactly the same. And pretty much this will continually be our purebred one. So, how are we going to put it as a hallmark purebred? We can probably put some signs to say so, but is that tacky? Yeah, let's put a sign. It'll still be able to see the sky, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's get this. Do we have sticks? Yes, we do. That's good. Let's actually make a few signs, and we might be able to pull off quite a bit. This will give us 6 signs, and let's work. So this will be our pure Diligent. That's good. This is not pure anything, but this is our pure cultivated. So everything that comes out here will be pure cultivated. This I'm not sure if this is already good. No, it's definitely not good. This isn't pure anything. That's bad, but this is our pure noble. So let's get our pure noble sign, and that mushroom has gone. We're not going to use mushrooms at all anymore. So let's get our pure noble, and this will stay as our pure noble. We won't do any genetic mutations to this noble. At least I hope not. And obviously we have our pure steadfast, which I think we might as well mark. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do with steadfast afterwards. And finally, we have our pure meadows right here, but that's kind of obvious. Okay, so we have one extra sign for when we actually get everything good. So we got our pure princess here. So what I think we'll do is put our nice offspring here. We know what they are. All of these are exactly the same. And we're going to take one of our cultivated, which we actually know it's from our pure cultivated, and put it in here. And actually, I think I'm going to orient that differently because it's been bugging me. Okay, here we go. So we're going to take the Diligent Princess and breed it with a cultivated and hope that we get a genetic mutation that'll push this princess onto the next part. So here we go. Making sure we got pure Diligent here. And okay, so now we have to wait for whatever this spews out. It's probably going to take a while. And this is a short life. And we're still waiting for all of the other stuff to wane itself out. So once that noble one works, we're going to have to throw another one of those in to breed with, well, this one, because we want that to be noble. And we'll probably want to move it over or something. Now, another one I forgot is that we still have our pure common branch over here. Pure common. And just to make sure, I just want to look at it. Yes, it's pure common. And yes, it's pure common. Looking at the genetic paths, we still haven't discovered everything required for common. So I think we'll also put our pure common sign here. Funny. Pure common. Kind of oxymoronic, but I guess it makes sense. And we'll just take one of these commons. And we don't really need it. We'll just throw it out of the way. Now we do have another bee here that's itching to be analyzed. I think it's going to be a cultivated common mutt. And these are also pretty much unknown, but it doesn't really matter what those are, because we already have enough purebred commons and the like. Now what that does mean is we have an extra apiary to work with. So let's take this apiary, place it down, and we'll be able to try to do a bit more breeding with it. So what shall we put here? We have a cultivated common, and we currently have a pure Diligent, and we're working on 2 of them, I believe, to get more pure noble. So we're going to want to breed this one over here with one of our nice little Diligent, so that we'll have an extra Diligent. So having 3 Diligent princesses, 3 Diligent others will be good. So might as well stop beating around the bush, just put this all as one long line. All the ones that have signs are pure, all the ones that don't are mutts. And we'll work from there. So let's wait a bit and see how everything goes. Now, as a little errand I think I can do in the meantime is just make another linking book here. That'll be our nice times domain linking book. And we're going to need to then make another stand in the overworld. So we'll be able to travel here, obviously, but we need to travel to the village, which happens to have our nice little, what are they? I even forgot what they are called. Anyways, let's go here and get those frames. That's what I was looking for. And we managed to pick up some books. So let's go here. Throw our book down. We'll be able to go back. And we need to bring some emeralds. Obviously, we cannot go back. I thought that through really well. So I guess I'm going to run back and try to get to the overworld. See you in a few. Okay, now that I'm actually thinking this through clearly, let's go back to the overworld and make another linking book. So that will go back to the overworld, go here, and throw our overworld book here. So now we can go back to the overworld and back to my domain. Isn't that lovely? Too bad I couldn't have thought of that originally. Okay, let's put our spare book over here, due to shame, and grab a few emeralds. I'm thinking 2 frames shall be good for now. And we'll go back to our book in the overworld and get a few proven frames. It might prove to be good. Haha. That was horrible. That was horrible. Come back here. Okay, got 1 set and another set, and unfortunately they do not stack. You'd think they'd stack. They're kind of paper thin. They're not even paper thin. They're like pixelated, and it's like, yeah. Okay, that's a little more thick. Anyway, so let's actually do some stuff. Now, this stuff, the proven frames, I think one of the main places we'll want to put them is in our Meadows one, because it's constantly moving. Can frames be put in a barrel? I've got to check that. If they can, that'll be very good. Okay, let's get a barrel and throw this down and throw this down. Okay, so we got them. Now how much do they stack? I'm not sure, but we got 3 of the frames. We'll throw them in here and they'll be able to start making a lot of them. Now I think we'll just take some of that out of the way so that we can make a lot more use for the frames location by just taking away all of these mutts here. And now we'll just have a bunch of honeycombs that we'll eventually get. Now our pure noble is done. So let's get our pure noble, throw that in, and where's our other noble to be? Is this our noble to be? That is our noble to be, I think. Where is our noble to be? It'd be kind of good to actually understand which one's which, but it seems like this might be a pure cultivated. Cultivated diligent. Cultivated diligent, and this must be cultivated diligent as well, so this one is our diligent to be. So let's grab another diligent, throw it in, and actually try to get this to diligent and not mess it up. And our other 2 probably not worth keeping because it messes us up. So that's another diligent. This one's cultivated common. This one is definitely going to be a diligent, but it's not there yet. This one, it doesn't really matter what that is, but we'll just throw these 2 out, combine the other diligent, and then we'll have, no, I messed up my bees. I picked up other stuff. No. Okay, I'm all better now. And grab our other diligent that we have here. And now since this is purebred diligent, we can give it a sign and actually get some stuff. Okay, so there we go. Here we go. Put this, that, and we got purebred diligent. No, it's wrong. It needs to be consistent. There we go. So we got another pure diligent. This one I'm pretty sure is supposed to be our noble one, so we'll get that. This one I guess is supposed to be another noble, unless this is. No, this is supposed to be a noble. Guess we're gonna have to worry about that a bit later on. But oh well, at least it's working now. Where's our other one? This is the one we're working on. No? Which one was I doing? Oh my gosh. Did I just mess up? Yeah, I messed up. Okay, so I messed up getting this cultivated. So I should probably work on actually place that I'm working on trying to get my other one, because I just messed up my breeding process working on industrial. So let's put a working industrial to indicate that we're not trying to get a purebred diligent here. And this stuff we're going to have to work on as well. This cultivated. How is this cultivated going? Cultivated diligent. Common diligent. Common diligent. Common diligent, huh? That doesn't happen much. Get those out of the way. Now let's see. Working industrial. So we're working on industrial here. So we got a diligent hybrid here. We also have a purebred diligent here. So we pretty much have 3 diligents. So what we should do is try to see if we can get another industrial one. So let's get our diligent, throw this one in, and also put another working industrial. Okay, so we have 2 working industrials, 2 purebred diligents that we'll keep on working on. This will continue going, and we have another diligent that we know will be good for the future. Pop. Okay, and this obviously still needs some stuff, but we're going to have to work on that later after we get some more pure noble for everything else. Now, I think I might as well get 3 frames for our pure noble. That is not very helpful, is it? Okay. There. And 1, 2, 3. Let's put this in the noble one. Might as well have as many dripping combs as we can, even though it's not going to be purely automatic. It'll still last quite a long time. Already we're getting stuff from that. Okay, let's wait for another working industrial to be finished, and then maybe we can actually see if we can upgrade anything. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. To think how many times I've said that through my career, and I continue to mess it up. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.